Title 42 was problematic from the start. The Trump administration began using it at the start of the pandemic with the stated purpose of stopping the spread of COVID-19. But advocates like Pedro Rios quickly pointed out that it was really put in place to stop migration.
In this case, under the Trump administration, it was used as a pretext under the pandemic to prevent people that are seeking asylum from the right to make an asylum claim.
Advocates criticized the policy as being racist because it links immigrants with communicable diseases.
Most of the migrants that were affected were brown and black migrants, and so there was a racial component in terms of how the Trump administration used it.
Title 42 allows Border Patrol agents to turn away migrants, including asylum seekers, at the border. This means that they don't get a chance to pursue asylum cases in immigration court. Advocates say that it essentially barred access to asylum for tens of thousands of people. And the policy has outlived any other pandemic-era travel restriction, quarantine, or mask mandate. Officials during the Biden administration stopped using the pandemic as a pretext and began describing it as an enforcement tool.
There was a transition from moving away from the use of Title 42 as a response to the pandemic to as a measure to control migration and to prevent unregulated migration. So trying to stop people from crossing into the United States.
Rios says that Title 42 is now framed as a necessary policy to stop illegal immigration. But he argues that it actually incentivizes illegal immigration because it blocks access to legal pathways to asylum. For example, before Title 42, migrants could present themselves at a port of entry and begin an asylum case by telling border agents that they feared persecution back home.
But absent any opportunity to show up at a port, migrants were trying to see how else they would come into the US. And so we've seen that here in San Diego, and we've seen in other parts of the border.
More than 850 migrants died during the fiscal year while attempting to cross the border illegally, more than any other year on record, according to Customs and Border Protection. Title 42 is scheduled to finally end on December 21st. That's when a federal judge ordered the Biden administration to end the practice. Rio says that he's happy to see the policy goes away, but he stops short of calling it an outright victory.
It's hard to qualify something as a victory when we've, as advocates, have been saying Title 42 has been harmful, has led to untold human rights violations of migrants, both in the US and Mexico, and has created conditions where people are dying.
In some ways, the long-lasting damage is already done. Rio says that Title 42, along with other Trump-era policies, have shifted the way we view asylum.
How the collective mind considers asylum has been damaged. It's no longer seen as an obligation of nation states to welcome people who are fleeing violence, who are fleeing situations that would end their lives. And now it's more of a burden and something to reject.
Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.